if you are a true wrestling fan like myself and MVP, then you know how influential managers can be in matches and whatsoever, helping out their clients, if you will, most times. And I think we break down the top five of all time, five for me, five for MVP. And before we do that, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. We drop daily wrestling content. And then right above me, here's the WWE shop link. Make sure you click that and get all your merch. Get the new OTC shirt. I'm buying that. I'm copping that because the original
Me
Tribal
too.
Chief shirt is awesome. Uh, get all your merch. No extra money for you. Just supports this podcast. So make sure you go do that. MVP, how's it going?
Going all right. Weather's cooling down, but I'm all for it.
You know what? If I can move somewhere anywhere in the world where it's 69 degrees all year round, I'm sold. I'll move there in a heartbeat. It's the
San
perfect temperature.
Francisco's pretty expensive.
Ugh. Yeah, that's true. The rent is only like $75,000 a month, but anyway, I'll ask Scotty about that from the Gym at 10 page. But anyway, um, I'll let you go first. Top five managers of all time.
Top five managers. I am going to go with Paul Heyman. Um, what doesn't anyone know about it? Well, in WCW, he managed the Dangerous Alliance,
Yeah,
Paulie Dangerously, and in that alliance were the likes of a stunning Steve Austin, U.S. champion, ravishing Rick Rude. Um, also had Medusa, Alundra Blaze for the non WCW fans out there. In the more recent years, manager and an advocate of Brock Lesnar,
yep.
uh, manager of CM Punk, his best friend, and the wise man of the tribal, the OTC,
Got to put the fingers up.
Roman Reigns. Excellent on the mic. I mean, the promos that this guy can do. Every time he comes out and he holds a microphone, it's must see TV because he's gonna say something worthwhile. And
He's the goat.
yeah, that's why Paul Heyman's my number one.
That's a very good pick. I'm a little jelly because I was going to take that one, but um, I got someone just as good. Not
Okay.
as good on the mic, but close. And if you're watching already, you already know who it is. Bobby the Brain Heenan. I mean,
Yeah.
Bobby Heenan was awesome. He had a stable, the Heenan family, and he
Mm-hmm.
managed arguably one of the craziest sights you've ever seen, Andre the Giant. Um, I love Bobby Heenan. I mean, when he was a manager, just the hatred he would show for Hulk Hogan was awesome. And that carried over to WCW. Like he stayed in
Yeah.
character even when he was announcing in WCW. Like I hate that guy. Like I hate Hulk Hogan. But Bobby Heenan was awesome, dude. I mean, just watching those old '80s pay-per-views like SummerSlam and WrestleMania, just seeing him come out with like four or five different people, can't beat that. Bobby Heenan he's one of the goats. I don't know if he's as good as Paul Heyman, but he's up there. So we'll go Bobby.
If you listen to him, you go to the top. If you don't, you're never heard from again.
He's good, man. I miss Bobby,
Yeah.
so we'll go Bobby.
All right. Great pick. Um, my next pick is Jim Cornette.
All right.
Now, many people would remember Mr. Cornette for wielding a tennis racket.
Yep.
Yep. And also very, very good on the mic. I mean, I guess it would have to be a prerequisite to be on this list. You got to be great on the mic. Because essentially, these great managers are the mouthpieces for the people that they manage. So Cornette managed very fondly, I might add, the Midnight Express. He does not stop talking about these guys, and inducted them into the WWE Hall of Fame. Uh, he managed Yokozuna,
Oh yeah.
and yep, and then he also managed Vader, Big Vader. Older wrestling fans will remember him falling off a scaffolding and breaking both of his knees. And and then people nowadays remember him more as a podcaster, uh, and doing it well. One of the best podcasts out there right now is
I don't
with
think
Jim Cornette.
he's not as good as Triple Threat Wrestling, but he'll do. No, I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
absolutely not. Nah, but yeah, if you're in a podcast game like us, talking about wrestling, you aspire to be Jim Cornette, my number 2.
I like it. And I'm gonna switch gears here, and I'm gonna bring up the first female of our top 5 here.
Ooh.
Gonna go Chyna.
Okay.
Chyna that is the ideal manager, and she was a female. And what I mean by manager, like we talked right before we started recording, you made a good thing about there's valets and there's managers, right?
Yeah.
And valets are just eye candy. You just bring them to the ring to just stand there. Chyna got down and dirty. Like, she was more intimidating than Triple H in most times, and she was managing him. Where, like, you were more scared of the threat outside, you know. And I mean, first female to win like the Intercontinental title. She did great stuff with Eddie Guerrero. She entered the Men's Royal Rumble. She was the first female to do that. She was just a trailblazer, and you know, I think that she should be in the Hall of Fame. Maybe she'll get there one day, but unless she is, she's not, right? I don't think she is.
Oh, okay.
You know what? She is as part of DX.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, that's it. But she's not as herself, which she should be. But
yeah. Okay, piggybacking off of you, my number 3, Sherri Martel, Scary Sherri, Sensational Sherri, Sister Sherri, Sherri Martel.
Yeah.
For all the reasons that Chyna is on your list. Got down and dirty with the boys when needed. At the same time, there for the men that she managed. Great on the mic. Went back and forth when she managed the Macho King. That was a sight to see. When she managed the Harlem Heat, that was great too. The one scene that sticks out is when Booker T goes all street like we are with the bricks behind us, and calls Hulk Hogan a certain colorful word.
I do remember. Sherri, and she still maintained her composure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, but she also, had a very, very great women's wrestling career. Champion, and got down and dirty with the guys. There's not too many women in this profession can say that. Got down and dirty with the guys. So that's my next pick, Sherri Martel.
I like that pick a lot. I would have taken her if you didn't. You forgot all about the Shawn Michaels stuff too.
Oh yeah. Oh, the better rendition of Sexy Boy.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to get to.
Sherri Martel. Look it up if you don't know.
Yeah.
But Shawn Michaels has him singing it, but when Sherri Martel sings it, it's much better.
It's also way better when she sings it with Kurt Angle.
Oh.
But, that's a deep cut.
If you don't know, look that up.
My number 3, I'm sorry, Paul Bearer. I'm going to go Paul Bearer.
Oh, yes!
With the urn, right? The reason being, when you're watching the Attitude Era and you think about like big moments in wrestling history, I mean, he turns on Undertaker and says, "Your brother Kane lived." Kane comes back, and you have this brotherly war with like this huge story that they built up of like their childhood home burned down, the parents died, Kane was supposed to have been dead, he's back, and then Paul Bearer forgets to dye his hair for a while, and he's like got it kind of, ginger looking like for Kane and the red, and then he manages him, his Brothers of Destruction later on, and he was part of that, right, for a long time. This story from when The Undertaker debuted which he was managed by like Brother Love for like a match or two, but it was
Yeah.
Paul Bearer for the most part. And
Mhm.
being with Undertaker from like the beginning to like all the way to right before his match with CM Punk when he passed away, and you kind of finish him off in the story like that, like you just can't beat that. And I don't know about Down and Dirty. He flashed a light at people from the urn, but he didn't like
Shot
punch people.
fireballs.
Yeah. But yeah, he was just, if you think Attitude Era, you think of like big moments, Kane, Undertaker, all that. Paul Bearer's there, and he's one of the best managers of all time.
Fun fact. He always reminded me of the man on the Tapatio bottle.
Yeah, I can see that.
My number 4, I'm gonna go with Mr. Fuji. Now, many don't know he actually had a career as an in-ring performer. He, but I don't know if people know, he was not the one to invent the Fujiwara armbar, but he was a technician.
Oh yeah,
And he's most known for throwing salt in his clients' opponents' faces. Most known for managing the likes of George the Animal Steel and especially Yokozuna. But I do have to bring up the time when he managed Don Morocco, and we got gold such as entertainment gold in Fuji Vice.
yeah,
And the Don Morocco and Mr. Fuji just hanging out in Miami, doing their best impression of Miami Vice, and it was entertainment. If you don't know, look that up.
yeah, for sure. I love Mr. Fuji. That's a solid pick. Now I can do my number 4.
Okay.
And okay, not a lot of people agree. If you don't agree, put it in the comments. I'd love to hear it.
Oh, dude, people won't agree.
Yeah,
Mr. Fuji.
especially if we bring up territory days, it's over with in the comment section. But
You know.
if you know, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go Stephanie McMahon
Okay.
because she managed Triple H, and the reason I pick her, like, there was a lot of big moments she was part of with Triple H, and the test wedding got ruined, and then she, didn't marry Triple H really, like, because Triple H did the yes, I do take you for my husband, like, anyway. So then the stuff with like her dad and Shane, and she
Yeah.
managed Kurt Angle, she managed Chris Jericho. There was a lot of big moments during that Ruthless Aggression era, like Attitude Era to Ruthless Aggression era, and Stephanie was part of a lot of it. And
Yeah.
she was good out there. She was nice. So I'm gonna go with Stephanie.
My final pick, I'm gonna go with Paul Ellering.
Very solid.
He he's mastermind behind the Road Warriors, arguably
What
the
a
greatest tag team.
rush.
Yes, arguably the greatest tag team of all time, and he's trying to recreate that with the Authors of Pain, which he came into NXT to help build them up, and currently now in the Final Testament with them, and Karrion Kross, who off topic, looks to be having a push of some sort, which is good. He's extremely talented. But Paul Ellering, yeah, just the mastermind behind the greatest tag team.
Yeah.
How you're not on that list?
Yeah, I like, and he was on my list, and you took him, but it's all right.
I know you like yourself some Road Warriors.
I do, and actually,
Even
so, I was gonna say I was on the Going Ringside podcast
yeah,
so long ago, and we talked about the top tag teams, and Dudley Boys were in the top 5. That's who we talked about. But
yeah.
man, Road Warriors they're hard to push down the list, man. They're really hard to push down the list. But
Tell them about it, Hawk.
well, I have to bring out the notebook for this one.
Okay.
because my fifth one is Jimmy Hart.
Okay.
I cannot possibly remember every person he's managed. By the
Oh
way,
yeah.
fun fact, he was the AWA Southern Heavyweight Champion in 1981 at 5'10", 166 pounds. I don't know how that's
Dude.
possible,
Dude,
but
he
he
was the
was.
greatest. He was.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
With,
I didn't know.
with the megaphone. He hits one with a megaphone, I guarantee it.
A megaphone.
Yeah. So let me go through. This is why I have the notebook. Here's just some of the people I wrote down that he managed, and there's more. I don't have time for it. Andy Kaufman, Honky Tonk Man, the Hart Foundation, Greg the Hammer Valentine, Jerry the King Lawler, Ted DiBiase and IRS, Mountie, the Natural
Ooh.
Disasters, Dino Bravo, the Nasty Boys, the Giant, the Dungeon of Doom with Kevin Sullivan, rest in peace. Kind of. I don't know. It depends on the joke we're going to tell. And Hulk Hogan. I mean, the guy was all over the place. I remember watching pay-per-views and like WWF at the time, where he was out like every match because he managed everybody. And like he would change his suit jacket real quick and have them spray painted on it. But like that was just crazy. The Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, which also he was I want to say guitarist for a band,
no.
the Gentrys.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he was a musical composer for WCW.
Yep. That's how he got started was as the Gentrys, and then he started going into wrestling and all that. But Jimmy Hart is one of the best. When you think of managers and just, I wouldn't say he got down and dirty a lot. I mean, sometimes, but he's one of the top 5 of all time.
Okay, so I have a couple stories about Jimmy Hart. In, I want to say 2006, when WrestleMania was here in Chicago. They had a lot of events going on at Woodfield Mall, and I was able to get into the front of one of such events happening, and Jimmy Hart was there. And I yell, "Oh, Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart!" And I got to shake his hand while he's up on stage. That was cool.
Yeah.
Fast forward, 12 years later, 2018. I'm flying home from South Carolina with my layover in North Carolina. So, and we have a few hours to wait there. I'm just walking around finding something to do, and I see some old dude wearing an NXT jacket. Who is it? None
Jimmy
other
Hart.
than Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. I went up to him like I'm a big fan and shook his hand there too.
That's great. See, at least you had 2 positive experiences. We're going to make a podcast of all of our experiences meeting wrestlers and stuff.
Yeah.
I have a very bad streak of luck. I would have liked to meet Jimmy Hart, but I just meet all the asshole ones. So they want no part of anything. But that's our top 5 managers of all time. I know there's going to be some hate. I know that you guys are going to want to comment other ones down there. Remember, we don't know the territory days that well, so you're going to have to remind us some of those managers. Also, real quick, I'm going to pop that QR code up one more time for the WWE shop link. Make sure you go there and buy all the merch, support this podcast. We truly appreciate it. It's awesome being back. I mean, we haven't recorded in a few weeks, and a couple of plugs real quick. I was also on the Going Ringside podcast again. We were talking about Mick Foley. I'll put the link to that up here somewhere in the post-production here. Make sure you check that out. It's a good interview with Mick Foley with Scott Johnson, and then I talk about Mick Foley's career as well. And then I started a new podcast. Matt may make some appearances on it. I don't know. But it's 2 Nerds, 1 Multiverse. I'll pop the link up there somewhere too. So if you like nerdy stuff, I mean, we're already like wrestling, so we're already halfway there. Go full out with the comic book stuff, and we'll talk about stuff over there. So MVP, it's good to be back, and we'll see you again next week.